Like I said, it just needed a moment to get warmed up.
So it's ready to move out?
Not quite yet.
I should have known. Team, get ready for another wave of attacks.
Setting out the welcome mat.
On the ledge over there.
What was that sound?
Seems like we hit another little snag.
Define little snag.
Forget about it. Defend the payload. It just needs a little more time. It's going to work. Trust me. What's the people off the payload?
Alright, looks like the audio is working well this time. And since I finally got the live stream shelled out to my server, I guess, yeah, it's time to start speaking. So yeah, what's up everybody? It is the Dark Conservatarian, and I am here to talk about the main subject being, of course, about debt and deficit under Trump and all that jazz. And also, I want to say, just to give a little bit of a small announcement, that I will not be going live. I will not be hosting a live stream at all on Sunday as I normally try to do, because for one thing, and most importantly, I am actually going on a bit of a road trip, a vacation if you will, to visit some family up in KC. And not to mention, in the afternoon of when I typically do my streams, you know, Sunday afternoons, is also of when the next Chiefs game is going. So yeah, go Chiefs. But anyway, so looking at the chat here a little bit here. Record debt deficit under Trump covered relief bill much? Do you blame the administrator or the COOF? A little bit of both, honestly. I blame the president for more or less buckling under the pressure of because of this. I mean, I guess there is a little bit of a point that there's that mild bit of how it's in spite of Trump, but also Trump could have ultimately just said no. I mean, Trump could have ultimately just vetoed some of these spending bills. So anyway, yeah, long gone are the days of when that conservatives, at least mainstream conservative talk show hosts, will be excuse me, trying to recollect my thoughts here. Long gone are the days of when that mainstream conservative talk show hosts criticize the president for record debts and deficits. They did that a lot under Obama, but as far as I know and have heard, they're not doing it a lot, at least under Trump. Maybe they're making a mention about it here and there, but I'm not hearing about it as much anyways. I mean, I remember that being a consistent line whenever I listened to Mark Levin, is that under Obama we got record debts and deficits. And I will say that it is my opinion that the later part of his administration, of when that spending started to go down, I haven't researched fully on it, but it is my opinion, at least, that is in spite of Obama, in the same way that the jobs creation that happened in the later part of the Obama administration was in spite of him as well. Being the fracking boom, for example. I mean, for one thing, you had the big old stimulus package that happened underneath Obama, and who knows if he fully got his way with Obamacare, we probably would have seen like healthcare spending go up as well in the later parts of his term. At least that's my opinion and my guess, anyways. Whereas with Trump, a good portion of Trump's administration, at least the first 2 to 3 years, from what I recall, the chart here, it shows, it goes a little bit more into specifics. Yeah, the first 2, maybe 3 years, I mean, it was going up. Well, you see that it is going down, but really the lower numbers are up high here. The higher numbers of deficit are down here. But as you can see, the deficit was going up just slightly for the first 3 years, but then it really took off in 2020. And yes, I realize that it is in large part because of the coronavirus, because Donald Trump felt kind of pressured to want to do something, or felt kind of pressured to do something in general. But ultimately, some of this spending, from what I remember, it was being negotiated with under his administration, under staff members of his administration, like Steve Mnuchin, for example, trying to negotiate this bill. And they could not negotiate the subsidies for airlines and hotels and all that stuff under the first relief bill, that is. But yeah, it is my opinion that Trump should have just at least refrained from most of the spending, at least. I mean, ultimately and ideally, I am not for giving out free, air quotes, money around. But even if I was to be somewhat for it, I think that there should have been an exemption made for those who are working, like me, for example. And by the way, I do just want to say, and this is not me trying to like virtue signal or anything like that, but what I did with most to all of my COVID relief check that I got of $1,200, as most of everyone else has received. But what I've done with most of mine is I donated that all to Kansas Coalition for Life, for them to give that money out to needy mothers and such. Which, speaking of which, I really have to get to work on that ad for Kansas Coalition for Life. But yeah, it's just a little bit disappointing seeing as though that Trump is just being a big time spender that makes both Bush and Obama pale in comparison, ultimately. Anyway, that was just a very brief little thing that I wanted to say about that. I pre-read that article. These next 4 articles I'm going to be reading, I have not pre-read. We're just going to be walking through them mostly and kind of giving like my own live raw reaction to them. But before I do that, I want to take a look at the chat a little bit here. COVID relief bill, for other words, socialism by the Republicans, says the True Grave. Exactly, Grave. Could God take that... He says, good God, take that stupid mask off. Well, I suggest getting used to it, True Grave, because this is going to be the aesthetic that my animated avatar for my response videos is going to look like, at least along the lines of this aesthetic anyways. I mean, it's not like I'm going to have this on every single time. I'm not going to have it on tomorrow when I go live streaming with Aircraft Sparky, which, I guess I should have opened up with that, by the way, folks. Tomorrow, Wednesday, today is Tuesday, October 20th. Tomorrow, October 21st, Wednesday, I'm going to be live streaming with Aircraft Sparky. He's having me as a guest on his show for us to just basically shoot the shit and whatnot, talk about some politics, give, I guess, sort of our predictions on how that the presidential debate is going to go for Thursday. And, yeah, so it is like 3 live streams in a row that I'm going to be doing. 2 of them on my own channel. Or at least I'm going to be doing my own live review of the presidential debate. And then tomorrow, of course, guesting on Aircraft Sparky's channel. And here I am right now. And the reason why I am doing all this back-to-back content is because, again, not going to be live streaming at all on Sunday. Just putting that out there, folks. Man, they were veto-proof. Huh? I find that kind of hard to believe, Aircraft Sparky, but maybe I'll look into it. I don't know. Kansas City, it's been so long since I've been there, says True Grave. It's not bad. I mean, actually, it has been a while since I've been there, too. I mean, I haven't been there since well before the Floyd riots, although Then again, Kansas City, I think they were like slightly more violent than Wichita, it's safe to say, from what I vaguely heard about anyways. But I haven't, and so forth. I blame the nonsensical Trump bucks bullshit along with the war on drugs, and I could go on. Thanks, mommy government, says Michaela Stray Cat. Yes. So are you going to Arrowhead Stadium to watch the game? True Grave says. No, I don't even think it's taken place in Kansas City, although I could be wrong. No, I'm just going to Kansas City to stadium to watch the game. True Grave says. No, I don't even think it's taken place in Kansas City, although I could be wrong. No, I'm just going to Kansas City to visit family up there, and then I thought, while I'm up there, I'm just gonna like watch the game at a bar up in Kansas City. Live on air, and right before I go driving back home here to Wichita, you know. At least you recognize the government is... Cat, at least you recognize the government is your parents, lol. They run full flights now. Well, they shouldn't have got the subsidies in the first place, Sparky. That's my opinion anyways. I mean, if they did not have like savings built up or anything like that to make sure that they stay afloat, well then that's ultimately on them. Sorry to the airliners, but no. Political pressure does not equal valid defense for mommy government interfering in the market, LL, says Michaela Stray Cat. I wasn't necessarily saying that. I was just mentioning that, or at least I wasn't agreeing with that sentiment, Michaela Stray Cat. I was just putting that sentiment on the table that obviously defenders of Trump are going to, you know, would have put on the table anyways. Rules of economics don't change, says Drew Grave, even if there is a pandemic. Lies. Yep. Sparky says, the vast majority of the heightened deficit spending was to modernize the military, something that was a bit overdue. I mean, you're talking about trillions upon trillions of spending here in 2020 alone. I mean, maybe like a few billion, few tens of billions, or even couple hundreds of billions anyways to revitalize the military. I mean, if we are to play that game, but not trillions. Like, a large part of this is not really, I would not assume anyways, is military related, Sparky. JC Armatada says, government spending and the national debt has been going up even before the CCP virus, but those things did spike once the CCP virus became mainstream. Exactly. Sparky says, it's going to be fun. I think he's referring to the live stream of his tomorrow that I kind of shilled out to my fan base here. True Grave. I bought a gun with my Trump bucks, lol. The government is subsidizing my arsenal. Yeah, although my personal opinion, I mean, I am in no ways, I mean, you already heard me say over Discord call, True Grave, that I already bought myself an AR-15 anyways, but nonetheless, I don't believe that the government should be subsidizing my personal usage, so I just donated all that money to where it's money, if it was to be done, you know, taxation, if it was to be done at all, should be devoted to actually helping the, you know, the legitimately helpless, that being like needy mothers who are considering aborting their child because reasons, because convenience or whatever. Okay, we're having a little bit of streaming issues here, kind of. I hope it's looking streaming smoother for you guys. You do interview discussion, Ivan Sun says. I don't think I'm big enough to get Larry Sharp's attention, although then again, Nate the Voluntarist has interviewed plenty of other big names like that before, so I don't know, send me his email address and maybe I'll try to contact him, or maybe I'll look at some videos of him, I don't know. It's airline related, says Aircraft Sparky. I don't really think that, I don't really think, I don't know. I think what would have helped is if the FAA approved the Boeing 737. Well, not like the Boeing 737 would have been used a whole lot, at least in the near future anyways. But for future usage, the Boeing 737 could have been at least approved for Wichita to start producing that at least. Instead of, like, giving out the subsidies and whatnot. I mean, it might have crippled Wichita in a way. in a way without that money, Sparky, but still on the sake of on a matter of principle, I still am against subsidizations in that ways anyways. So anyway, moving on to cnsnews.com. Bruh, do you know how much the new aircraft carriers cost? Aircraft Sparky asks. No, I do not, but I do know that at least the first stimulus package that was closer to the beginning of this year, or at least in the first half of this year, was over $1 trillion anyways. So, anyway, I'm just going to move on to the next subject. Feinstein on Barrett. So, as you all know, the Senate has gone ahead with the hearings for Amy Coney Barrett, who is a SCOTUS pick by Trump to fill in Ginsburg's place. And so, I guess this is like one facet of the debates going on around Barrett. So we're just going to react to this. Feinstein on Barrett. She's been pro-life a long time, so I suspect with her it comes with her religion. What do you mean by it comes with her religion, y'all hag? During a break in the fourth day of the confirmation hearings for Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the Supreme Court, Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein of California said she suspected that Barrett's pro-life view was deeply personal and comes with her religion. What do you mean? I just gotta wonder. Like, what does she mean by comes with her religion? Does she mean that along with the pro-life beliefs, Amy Coney Barrett is going to try to amend based off of her religion as well as based off of her anti-abortion beliefs? Or is she saying that her abortion beliefs, her pro-life beliefs more specifically, come from her religion? Because if it's the latter, I don't freaking care. If it's the former, substantiate that, Feinstein. Statement was caught on a hot mic and posted on YouTube by Bloomberg. She's been pro-life a long time, Feinstein said of Barrett, who is a Catholic, so I suspect with her, it is deeply personal and comes with her religion. And, that was a very short article. You know, I guess we'll just listen to this very quickly. It's only 56 seconds.
She's been pro-life for a long time. So I suspect with her it is deeply personal and it comes with a religion no, I'm not going to say more.
Well, that was super freaking short. Seconds right there. You know what? I am going to go ahead and take this mask off because I am itching to drink some delicious. But anyway, I have to say that give an example as to how that you think that, Feinstein, but if you're saying that it comes, if you're meaning to say it comes from her religion, that her pro-life beliefs are basically grounded somewhat in her religion, well, in that case, I don't really give a crap. I mean, my pro-life beliefs kind of more or less started on my religious beliefs, but then they kind of evolved to, you know, not be so as reliant on my religious beliefs, and became more reliant off of freaking lag, my guy, says Aircraft Sparky. Gotta, oh geez, I got a question for everybody in the chat. Is my audio at least, if you are using Google Chrome, that shit takes tons of memory, says Aircraft Sparky. Actually, yeah, I am. I am using Google Chrome for the browser for StreamYard and YouTube here. I'll have to remember in the future to use Firefox for the YouTube browser, apparently. But the reason why I use Google Chrome for YouTube browser is because it's kind of convenient, because I also use Google Chrome for StreamYard calls, so that I can like share the audio as well as the video with whoever I'm in call with. I mean, you can't really do that with Mozilla Firefox, or at least not that I know anyways. OBS and Chrome not compatible, says Aircraft Sparky. Thanks for the advice, Sparky. But anyway, so I got a question for everybody in the chat. Is my audio at least coming in smoothly? Or is it about as laggy as my video is showing right here? JC Armitage says, oh great, Wolf Feinstein is spewing nonsense once again. I wonder if she'll work gun control into her diatribe like she usually does. Yep, Dianne Feinstein, pretty much the queen of gun control. The stream keeps stopping and starting for me as well, says JC Armitage. Ah, crap. When you don't go full lag, it's fine, says Sparky. You know what? Maybe I'll start closing down tabs. Maybe that'll help somewhat. Or actually, since nobody, it almost seems like nobody is going to, since it almost seems like nobody is really interested in joining me on this call, and I'm probably yard tab. Screw it. And I'm going to go ahead and close down 2 of these articles at least. The ones I've already read. They're linked down in the description box below if people want to read them themselves. But anyway, audio good, video not so much. I know, Mikhail. It's, by stopping, I meant to say pausing, says JC Armitage. My guy, your lag is unacceptable. Well, if the video is bad, well, I realize that it's unacceptable, and I'm gonna have to work on that. I'm gonna have to definitely use a new format for streaming. But if the audio is fine, we're at least going to continue on that point anyways. And JC Armitage says audio is fine, but the stream itself keeps having buffering issues. Well, maybe the end product for this stream will be not as bad. Anyway, we're gonna just try to power through this because I do not feel like completely restarting the stream. Anyway, this from Washington Examiner. Those last 2. Crap. I just had a little notification right there that said OBS was disconnecting and now it's reconnected. But anyway, let's get on with this before the article gets crappy. Or excuse me, but I'll keep that in mind, Sparky. I'll come extra early tomorrow. Anyway, so yeah, Obama being pessimistic about a Biden presidency, that opinion holds a lot of weight, and so that's why I wanted to read this. The divergence between some prominent Democrats and the party's leftmost wing would probably fall away with a Trump victory. Unite to fight the common enemy and all that. But if Joe Biden wins next month, then there is a potential for further intra-party division. That's what Barack Obama seems to fear. Obama recently encouraged progressives not to push too hard, or at least not to treat their demands as zero-sum matters. The caution I always have for progressives is making sure that as you push for the most you could get, that at a certain, alright, you know what, let's get this done another day, he said on Pod Save America, whose hosts all worked in the Obama administration. Well, oh god. I was about to say that I do not know how true that stands for like the first 2 years of his administration, but I don't know. No data. This stream will end shortly unless you restart it in your streaming service. Trying to determine if I want to press this button or not. Okay, so I'm really having a bad connection issues. Let's get through this. Those on the receiving end of Obama's exhortation would include the likes of Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Pramila Jayapal, indeed, the whole Bernie Sanders, Medicare for All, and Green New Deal coalition, who have explicitly said they plan to push Biden and ultimately expect him to be pushed to the left. The inertia really is behind those House progressive caucus types, and they should be encouraged. Biden has moved towards them, though he has rebuked the socialist moniker that so many fervently embrace. I beat the socialists, Biden has said. He changed their entire ethos by doing that. Kill the stream with fire. The lag wins, says Aircraft Sparky. Yeah, I hopefully I did not get cut out too much in my monologue right there. I shut myself up as soon as I noticed that the connection really cut out. Immediately after